nonetheless does pick up the victory. So
Yeah.
going to be progressing into the next round as well.
Jerd's as well, picking up that game that we saw before. So we also saw I'm So Brad win his game, which is putting him so far at the only undefeated player in the tournament.
Right, that must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's nice to be, especially when you've got about 40 players. You're 3 rounds in.
Yeah.
You're X&0, which means that you haven't lost a game, and it's a top 8 cut. So you're putting yourself in a pretty
really
good
good position
to be able to make it through to that round of 8. So we'll see if we can jump in somewhere else. We'll have a look. BingLingSao, who we spectated earlier on today,
game,
and whose games seemed to last
quite a while.
Yeah, we were waiting for him last game as well. So we'll have a look, see if we can spectate his opponent. He does not, but we'll jump in anyway, I think, and we'll pick this up here. So BingLingSao playing Priest. He is up against
presumably a Ram Druid here.
Who there we go. Defias Ringleader. Funny seeing him in there.
All right,
Vol'jin, yes.
Yeah, that came out of the piloted Shredder, so... I mean, not the most fantastic use of Vol'jin, but, you're getting 8 health onto it anyway with the Dark Cultist there, so, he must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. Harrison Jones, not going to give you much use up against a Druid itself. He's got some interesting cards in his hand here, BingLing as well. We don't know what Sokaris will play because he hasn't been kind enough to add us to his friends list. But
unfortunately,
yeah, I would love to see a sort of situation in this game where you can host a tournament, and the admins can spectate the games. I think that would be definitely of
useful
benefit. Yeah, obviously spectator mode only recently coming out, however, so hopefully maybe something down the track. I know there's sort of similar things within the Dota 2 client that allow you to do that sort of thing where there's actual admins of particular tournaments run within the game. We will see Harrison Jones coming out, obviously knowing that as a Druid is his opponent, he's not going to
have any weapons.
Yeah, he's not going to get anything else out of that one. So a nice 5 forward,
5-4
onto the board. Yep.
I wonder if it would have been better to play the Orkanai Soul Priest in that situation.
You like it?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's really a 50-50 toss-up. You do have still the same kind of value on the board, but maybe a little bit scarier in that situation. I guess now that we've seen that swipe come out, it would have been better to play that Orkanai Soul Priest because the swipe wouldn't have been able to kill it. But you do get a lot of value out of that Harrison Jones. One minion for a swipe is quite good.
And one minion that essentially doesn't do...
Draw,
exactly. There wasn't much for him to do in your hand other than be a bit of fodder. So, 8 mana on the board. We have a Holy Fire, we have a Wild Pyromancer, we have that Soul Priest, which is what you said you would have preferred to have seen last turn. Soul Priest into heal onto his opponent, which is obviously going to do damage into a pass. We will see that Shade bumping itself up to 3-3 here. Now 4 cards in the hand of our Druid. We'll see what he's going to play.
Yeah, I think this silence here is going to be pretty key for BingLingSao. So, if he can silence these guys at the right time, now would be actually quite a decent one because you'd be dropping a lot of health off that Ancient of War. But also, you're going to be dropping health off the Shade of Naxxramas as well. So, what are we going to be seeing coming out here?
Yeah, well, we do can't target with the Shadow Word. There goes your Holy Fire. There is that silence.
Not sure if he's going to play it, though. He's kind of just debating what he wants to do here. He does have that Holy Fire available as well. Going to get a decent amount of value. Going to get the 5 health heal as well. But won't allow him to basically straight up kill that big Taunter. Could play Villain's Chosen onto the Organized Soul Priest and then go with the Holy Fire. Probably going to get him enough damage there.
Villain's Chosen is another Goblins vs. Gnomes
card. New card.
Yeah.
Actually quite a strong card as well.
Yeah. You are keen on that one. So just deciding here what he thinks the best play is. Silence onto a 5/10 with Taunt. We will clear that out, but obviously he's still going to have to deal with it as a card. So we'll see what his next play is. He can obviously pump up his Organized Soul Priest here, which he will be doing. He's going to go. There we go. We'll clear it up. Hero power to the face for 2 damage. Just like a bit of a hunter with a little bit more versatility.
Yeah.
And
well, there is that new hunter card that allows you to target whatever you want with your hero power. So I guess in that sense, then potentially that could be.
They're essentially the same card.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, yeah.
Kind of.
In a manner of speaking, yeah, but
in
no,
this
not
situation,
really.
they would do the same thing.
Yes. All right. Anyway, we're going to see. Is he going to use this Shadow Naxxramas on that Organized Soul Priest? Or is he going to save it? He's going to save it. And that's actually not good because that Light of Naru can be used on the Pilot Intruder. Going to take that out. He's going to be hoping here for a 3-2 coming out of that so he can kill it. And that's a really good situation here. He's going to use his hero power, presumably, onto that creep. Minion, rather, to use the casting League of Legends. But now he has got a lot of board control, and dropping that Sylvanas as well is going to make Sokaris a little afraid, but he can remove it without losing anything too major.
We will see. We see in chat here that the deck was changed. That we saw the forfeit before.
Yep.
The deck was changed to all spells.
That's really unfortunate.
Dear.
But oh well, there is still, I mean, plenty of rounds that you can.
Yeah,
continue
exactly.
to play. And I guess that's the strength of Swiss.
It is 100% the strength of Swiss, where you can go and lose to something, either something that's not meta, or you can have a terrible draw.
Yep.
When, generally you might be the better player, or normally you would like to think you could get through on the decks that you've built and the preparation that you've made. Something like even a double elimination tournament can massively suck when you get dropped down to the lower bracket.
Yep.
Obviously, in a tournament with 40-odd players, you can't run a round robin, so
No.
Swiss is really...
Quite good.
Yeah, it is definitely the tournament of choice, which is why it is used amongst all the other card tournaments and that sort of thing that you would normally see. Kind of new to esports, however, but something I'm certainly a big fan of. So, we'll have a look what we have missed in that chat. Sylvanas, Shave Naxxramas onto Sylvanas by the looks of things, and...
Right, that's a nice draw there coming out for BingLingSao. Unfortunately for him, he can't really proc that Light Warden down there. Going to be unable to heal anyone because of that Organized Soul Priest, but that is still a creep on the board that is going to have to be dealt with. But I think really the situation here, you want to play that Shadow Word Death. I don't think he can play the Holy Fire here because it's going to be 6 damage to his face as well.
Yes.
5 damage to his face,
Yeah.
6 damage to the opponent. So not the best decision there.
Shadow Word Death, I don't think would go astray, to be honest.
No, I think you would play the Shadow Word Death and then probably drop the Wild Pyromancer as well, just to get another minion on the board.
Yeah, and
then hit face.
Hit face and heal face
Yep.
of your opponent for that 2 damage.
He is taking quite a long time to decide what he wants to do. Potentially he is afraid of something like a Ragnaros that he wants to keep that Shadow Word Death for. I mean, he does have the health to play with here. But I honestly think it's not worth taking that 5 damage to the face and actually deciding to hit it with the Organized Soul Priest and heal. So very interesting. Not something that I really considered there.
Yeah, it was obviously always a possibility. It's as I guess he's just preparing to keep that Shadow Word Death for later on.
Yeah, but there are a lot of big creeps in a Druid deck typically.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it wouldn't be the biggest of the creatures that he would find in his opponent's deck today. Ancient of Law coming out, 5/5, going to decide for the card draw. Trying to get a little bit more card advantage, get ahead of the 4 cards that BingLingSao does have. Shade coming out. It's not a terrible board, but it's certainly something that could be cleared up here.
he could kill that Shade with the Wild Pyromancer. Well, actually, now he can't, but could have. So, opting not to do that. Going for the Holy Fire. This is going to buff that Light Warden once again. So, 5/2 is going to be scary, and I think really that kind of is going to force Sokaris to use that Shade of Naxxramas into the Light Warden. It's just getting a little bit scary at this point.
or something like a Keeper of the Grove, or...
Yeah, well, actually, we don't know what is in his hand, so
No.
Keeper of the Grove would be good too.
It would definitely come in handy here. Ragnaros, however, is not terrible either. With that, you would definitely, in my mind, want to clear out your 5/2, but I guess we'll see if he's going to go to face
Really
or
go
whether he's
for the
going
50-50.
to go 50-50 coin flip. Looks like he's just going to swing to the face and let Ragnaros do his thing here. Yeah. There you go.
You know, I wouldn't be particularly disappointed with that as BingLingSao, because you get the free clear here for the Ragnaros. Really, essentially, you've only taken 2 damage off that card, which cost him 8 mana, and now you've got a Dr. Boom on the board. Yeah, a good situation now for BingLingSao.
Yeah, absolutely. It turned out well. 7 cards in his opponent's hand here. The Bingling, obviously, again, ahead on HP. He has managed to heal himself a few times through the benefits of being a priest here. What is he going to do with his shade? He's considering at swinging it into Dr. Boom. Obviously, you would only want to do that if you had something in your hand.
Yeah, well, there's the possibility of a Wrath or something like that.
You could have a swipe, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, swipe would be good in this situation.
But swiping into this situation would obviously... he's going to swipe first.
Oh, this is risky if he loses the shade.
Yeah, if he loses the shade, bam, there you go. And it's still 7
damage off the Doombots is really nice.
Yeah, that could have turned out so poorly. Like the odds weren't terrible, but he was
it was 2 50-50s essentially.
2 50-50s, and then it needs to do
the damage
4
as well.
damage. Yeah,
so,
yeah. I personally would have wanted to swing first.
Yeah.
It's, much it would have put him 3 HP worse off, however. But the risk that you take, I suppose. Wild Pyromancer. So we did see Dr. Boom coming out in return here. Wild Pyromancer with what have we got? Is there anything that would... We've got 2 Shadow Word Pains, which is not really what you want to see here.
I don't think he can clear that.
A Wrath, obviously going to do 3 damage, which is 4 damage with the Wild Pyromancer.
You might just go for the 1 on the Boom here for the card draw. We'll see what he decides.
He does.
Yeah.
He does indeed. Oh, there you go. He will cop 1 to the face and 1 onto his Pyromancer as well. So it will leave a Dr. Boom on the board. He does have a Sludge Belcher, which in this situation, I don't know, I think you'd probably...
I think you have to play it.
You have to, yeah.
No other option, really.
He's starting to run out of cards, as Sokaris is starting to pull ahead in card advantage here. We have a look at their decks with 8 cards up to 11. So he's got a 3-card advantage across the entire game. Nice.
That's not a happy situation at all.
No, it is not here. 1-2. Is there something else that can get rid of this 1-2? Is Dr. Boom going to be forced to do a bit of dirty work, clearing up a 1-2 taunt, which he will. So, obviously nothing in Sokaris' hand that could have done something about that one. Again, starting still 2 creatures on the board here. We know that BingLingSao's hand has nothing in it at the moment that can really do much about this. +2/+2 and taunt. Dr. Boom, 9/6, starting to look even more impressive.
More scary, yeah. He's really probably going to be praying for that last Shadow Word Death that he's got in that deck somewhere. And Circle of Healing is not what you want to be seeing at all.
Yeah.
If you're BingLingSao, I mean, the only option he's got here is to heal himself and pass. And really, that's kind of telling Sokaris that he has nothing in his hand that is of use at all.
And he really does. And when you talk about dead cards, 2 Shadow Word Pain at turn, whatever this is, 14 or something, and 2 Circle of Healing, definitely not what you want to see. Force of Nature into